Hello, I'm Nathan Judo. I'm here with Wolves reporter Mr. Tim Spiers. We just heard from Nuno ahead of the big game on Sunday against Arsenal. Tim, he was in pretty good spirits, wasn't he, to be fair, since he lost 3 on the bounce.
There's lots of screaming kids in there, I've just noticed.
There's lots of screaming kids, some sort of creche facility, I think.
Is that your fan base, is it?
Yeah, all 11 and below.
So what was the question?
I don't know, I've forgotten now.
It's all about Nuno.
It's about Nuno, but he's pretty calm, collected. He's never too high, never too low, depending on how they're doing. He's got his feet firmly on the ground.
No, as was proved last season when they were winning every week, and he was a miserable gift most of the time.
He said never looked at the table, so he didn't know. Someone had to tell him in the last game of the season.
No, he's fine. That's one of his strengths. Yeah, doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, and the players are the same really. I don't think there's any sense of panic. And why the hell should there be? They've lost 3 games in the Premier League. Big deal, it happens. And they're getting used to the league. They're getting used to a lot of things and having to adapt. Spurs, very good team. Could easily got a point another day, and they could have won at Brighton the week before. So if they were playing badly and shipping 2, 3, 4 every week like certain other promoted teams, then it would be a problem. But they're not. They're playing well. Just a couple of tweaks in both boxes really, and they'll be fine.
Kind of nice line from him, and it is right. I think when you take a reality check, is that it shows now how difficult it is to win Premier League games, and it is, isn't it? I mean, they had this superb start, but it is difficult, and you've got to really, really play well to get 3 points in the Premier League.
Yeah, and it shows the difference between the last time this club was in the Premier League, which vast majority of fans will remember. Games like Arsenal away, Spurs at home, Man City at home, Man United away. It was 100% a free hit. Let's see what we can get. Let's play out. Let's back to the wall. And try and eke out a point.
Yeah.
Whereas now, it was Wolves weren't defined by those games when they were last in the Premier League. We're not going to compete with them. It's fine, but they are competing now, and deservedly got a point out of the 2 Manchester clubs, and could have got a point out of Spurs, and played better than Spurs in long spells of the game.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that. So they go to Arsenal. Yes, with their confidence having taken a bit of a hit, but if he's managed to regroup them this week, and if he's managed to get them in the right frame of mind, they can give Arsenal a hell of a game. So the flip side is there is the danger that if they concede early, then if confidence has taken a bit of a hit, then Spurs boom 3-0 at the weekend. You don't want that again. But we'll see what they can do.
So is it a free hit this weekend then? I mean, is anyone expecting them to go there and get a point apart from Nuno?
I think this is probably the game this season where you don't expect them to get anything from. There was a little bit of confidence ahead of the Man City game there at home on our patch. Let's see what we can do. Man United, they went there full of beans, and last week as well. I fancied them to take a point or beat Spurs. Didn't happen, but it's difficult to make a case for it on Sunday, isn't it? But I'll do just that by saying that if they score first, which they've just stopped doing, and which they did time and again last season, and for me that's something they haven't adapted to yet, is how to chase a game when you're not winning. Last year it was so easy, they'd score in the first half an hour and that was it really in a lot of games. Obviously not the case now. They're falling behind. They haven't scored in the first half since the opening day of the season, which is remarkable really. They've got to rectify that. If they score first, we know they can play, by the way. They can play, and Arsenal will give them the room to play. Nice big pitch, won't be many tough tackles flying around.
No.
They can do their stuff. You never know. It's very unlikely, but you never know.
Morgan Gibbs-White, obviously, is the topic conversation. Plenty of people asking him about him in the press conference. There's loads of things going on behind us, to be fair. We've just got to carry on.
We've got
to be professional. Well, it's windy, so I had to come into this wind shelter.
To be honest, it's pretty warm, mate.
Yeah, I know. It's like Morgan Gibbs-White, obviously superb cameo, but we're expecting him not to start, aren't we, at the Emirates?
I'd be surprised. It would be un-Nuno-like to bring him in. Morgan did fantastically. I love the guy. I think he's a fantastic young footballer with a huge future. What's so funny?
Nothing. Just thinking about an incident last season. He loves you too.
Right. Okay. I'm sure he does. Completely put my train of thought now.
Sorry.
So it was a bit of a free hit against Spurs last week. 3-0 down, nothing to lose, came on and did fantastically well. Does that equal a start on Sunday? I'm not sure you break up that Neves-Moutinho partnership at Arsenal away, but what he's done, he's proved he's an option to come off the bench and something different in midfield, which is what they've been lacking this season. So if they're 1-0 down, 50 minutes, 60 minutes on the clock, go and see what you can do.
Has he put himself ahead of the likes of, let's say they play the same starting 11, the likes of Traore or the likes of Jota, or does it just depend on the game and the game flow?
For Gibbs-White?
Yeah.
I mean, there's sort of less risk in putting him in one of the forward roles. I mean, he did it at Leicester away, and he looked quite good in that game. For me, you've got too many options in those forward roles, really, for Gibbs-White to push in ahead of them. I really like him as a central midfielder, bursting forward from midfield. He played it to a T against Spurs, took players on, played through balls. It was a perfect cameo. Should have had an assist on the other day. Costa puts that in. So the forward roles, I think they've got that covered. They've got Jota now back from injury, available on Sunday. Costa on the verge of doing something decent for me. You know, he showed it in patches. I know, still no goals and no assists, but I'm backing Helder to do something decent soon. And change that. And then Caballero coming to the ball a bit now. His fitness is improving. I think we'll see Costa Caballero on the wings on Sunday.
And he did mention, Nuno, and I think this is he'll want to do this more than anything, is to get back to getting those clean sheets, and that's so important. They have shipped some goals recently, not loads, but you know, when they're not scoring at the other end, that's so essential.
If they're not scoring at the other end, it puts more pressure on them to keep clean sheets. They haven't managed that in 3 weeks. Poor against Watford defensively. A couple of really sort of uncharacteristic errors against Spurs last week, leaving players unmarked. It's not like them. Got to change, obviously, on Sunday. Arsenal are fabulous to watch. They will exploit those gaps if Wolves allow them. So they've got to be at their best in terms of shape, which they know down to a T. They know it off by heart. The 3 centre halves, you know, they rarely get isolated. You've got the 2 DMs in front of them. You've got the wing backs. The forwards have all got to play their part defensively. Arsenal, you know, can be stopped. Of course they can. But Wolves have got to improve in both boxes.
And like you mentioned on the podcast yesterday, plug. If they do come away from the Emirates without anything, can the peeps keep calm and not panic? Because they haven't been recently, have they?
No. It's mostly restricted to social media, but there were quite a few murmurs at the game last Saturday as well. This club has had a universally positive atmosphere since Nuno took charge. They've been a winning football club week after week. They've carried that momentum into the Premier League, and now you've seen the Titanic hit the iceberg, and it's what's going to happen here.
No, it's close. It's on the way.
Sink or swim kind of time, sort of, because 4 defeats in a row would test that. I think you've got a awkward 2 week break before the Huddersfield game. And I think everybody's just got to try and stay positive, really, and have a bit of perspective and realise how far this club has come. And 11th in the Premier League is a position that I'm sure everybody would have taken in August at this moment in time. You know, they're nearer to 4th than the bottom 3 in terms of points. But it's up to the players and for Nuno to keep going as well, really, and stick to their principles and realise, you know, hey, it's just a bit of a blip. Could easily win at Brighton. Could easily not point at Spurs. They're not playing badly. So no panic is definitely the message. You know, there's no need for wholesale changes here. There's no need for a rethink in formation. There's no need to go and spend big in January for me. I think they've got a fantastic team with a very, very, very good manager, and things will turn again soon. You've only got to look at the fixtures on the horizon to see where that can come from.
Well, I think Nuno said himself, didn't he, that the January window, if they have some activity, won't be determined on results. It's just about how the squad make up at the moment.
Yeah, and they're not a very reactive club in that way. Certainly the recruitment they've used last couple of years, and Nuno and his backroom team, they plan long term for the future. They're not reacting week by week on results. So there are a couple of gaps that need filling in the squad for me, and a bit of work to do in January. But the basis of what they've got, the first team that they've got, the way that they play, there's not much wrong with it.
No. So. Arsenal useful enough. Aubameyang, Lacazette, Ozil, to name but a few. I mean, they're going to have to. It's going to be a hell of a test for the back 5.
Yeah, well, they're the three. They're the 3 danger men. Lacazette and Aubameyang just scoring goals for fun at the moment. Aubameyang scored like 5 in 5 shots or something in recent weeks. He'll be cutting in from the left wing, so big test for Ryan Bennett if he starts. You know, probably his worst game of the season against Spurs, although. Same could be said for a couple of players. So
you said if. Do you feel that that's a position that might change? You feel?
I wouldn't have thought so. No. I think he'll name an unchanged team on Sunday. No one had a nightmare against Spurs. You can look at Bennett for the second goal, but then if you look at the replay, he was covering Harry Kane and then moves off his man, and Doherty's the one that you're looking at, really. So they're a phenomenal team going forward. A couple of the goals that they've scored this season, I don't think any team in the league can match them. The one they scored at Fulham away, Ramsey's goal, the one they scored against Everton at home, all the flicks. It's just filthy, really.
Oh yeah,
really.
It's back.
Well, we haven't seen enough of that from Wolves this season, so we need to put, like I said, an open game, a big pitch against Arsenal. Maybe Wolves will be given time to show what they can do, and if they're a little bit more defensive in their approach, and they hit Arsenal on the break, then they can get a bit of joy. But the key is going to be stopping the goals at the other end.
So you made a case for Wolves, so prediction please?
I think there'll be goals.
Yes you do, goals galore.
But I can't see Wolves winning or probably getting anything from it. You've got to go with Arsenal.
Yeah. Scoreline?
I think 4-2 I said yesterday.
4-2. It's got a thriller.
Prove me wrong, Wolves.
Prove me wrong. Myself, Tim and George will be at the game. It is the Emirates Stadium. It's at a delicious time of 4:30.
I'll be there as well.
You will be, that's what I said.
Yeah.
4:30 PM, you'll be there 1 with that buffet on. Beer fridge, happy days. Beer machine, it's going to be epic. They'll be slurring his words by tweeting slurring.
Making more sense than usual.
Cheers. Looking forward to it. It is Arsenal against Wolves. For all the latest Wolves news, make sure you log on to expressandStar.com.